guys, it's Mallory here. Welcome back to my channel. I just want to share some ways that I am trying to naturally induce my baby. So I am past 38 weeks now and have been just trying to do everything I can to get into some early labor because I am just hitting that point, and it's so weird for me. Like, it's really hard to explain. I feel like it's more emotional than physical. Like, I just get in my head and I'm so sick of waiting. I'm not very patient, and I think it's because it's this huge transition. Like, this happened with my first baby, now I'm on to my second, and I feel the same way of I just need to jump into this. Like, I'm ready. I've been trying to prepare. I've been waiting patiently, and now it's just time to go. I am like so just ready to have baby here. And I just thought I would try to share with you guys what I'm doing, and if it's working. I hope it's working. But yeah, if you have any advice or ideas or comments, then definitely let me know. I am trying more of the like scientific ones, a little bit of the old wives' tales, but not as much this time. So we'll see what ends up happening, but most of these things are good for me anyways. So I'm just trying to be calm and patient, and I'm having a really hard time doing that. I also don't know if it's like some kind of hormone is released like that, because I just feel so different. Like, and again, this is emotional, not physical. Like, I am uncomfortable. I am like having a harder time falling asleep. I am, you know, whatever, normal pregnancy. Like, I'm super big, very round right now, and it's time for the baby to come out soon. But it's more like this emotional thing, and I'm like, maybe hormones are released that make it like, okay, it's time, I'm ready. Like, I'm not afraid of labor, I'm just ready to go. I just want it to happen. I just want this baby to be here. And then I have started to feel like Braxton Hicks and stuff, which I didn't feel at all with my first pregnancy, but I was like 3 centimeters dilated with my first pregnancy kind of early on, and then had to get induced medically on my due date because I had high blood pressure at my appointment. So there was a little bit of concern of preeclampsia, and I'm just really trying to avoid that. I don't want to be medically induced. I want to experience you know, going to the hospital because I felt contractions and because my water broke, or, you know, something like that. I just want a different experience. I want to experience it all. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm definitely not a medical professional. I just Googled a lot of things. So definitely talk with your doctor or midwife or whoever before doing these things. But this is what I'm doing to try to induce and help with my labor. So number one, I am exercising and walking a ton. So I say a ton, but I mean every day. So luckily there's been warmer days here occasionally. There has been some snow too. So on those days, I'm just doing my prenatal exercise that I do on Beachbody. So it's like a video exercise that I follow. So I am doing that, which is like a 30-minute exercise with good stretches and different things that get your heart rate up and then bring it back down basically. So I've been doing that, and then I'll also go on at least like a 30-minute walk. So the other day I walked around the mall because it was too cold outside. But mostly I've been trying to get outside, take my son Asher, and we just go on a walk and like walk around our neighborhood, try to get this baby out. That is number one, and like I said, that is something that is good for me either way. So I'm glad that this is motivating me to do that at this point in my pregnancy. Number two, I am using a exercise yoga pregnancy ball, whatever you want to call them. So one of those big blow up exercise kind of balls, and sitting on it, bouncing on it, swaying on it, rocking on it, doing some hip circles. So I'm just trying to do that throughout the day at different times because it's supposed to help like get your baby using gravity to come down and to be in the right position. That's the same with walking and exercising too. So I already know my baby's head has been down for a while because in the ultrasound, like at least a month ago, her head was already down, probably longer ago than that. So she's been ready, she's been low the whole time, and I'm just trying to work with that and get her to start coming down further. But yeah, the exercise ball also is just pretty comfortable. I think you don't want to do it too long, but you can look up different exercises. There's a lot of different options and things to do. You can also use it where you're not just sitting on it, you're like leaning over on it. And then it's also really helpful, I guess, during labor too. I didn't use one because I was in the hospital and being induced and figuring all that out, but I do think it's a very helpful tool. So if you don't have one, you can buy them on Amazon, and I don't think they're too expensive, but they also have them at hospitals available for you if you're in labor at the hospital. Number 3, I don't know if these are really supposed to induce labor, but they're supposed to like help when you're in labor, and that is eating dates and drinking the raspberry leaf tea. So it's supposed to like soften your cervix, and that can just help with it being ready to go, like time to go for the baby, I think. And then most importantly, just help with labor being a little bit shorter because your cervix is already softened and kind of ready to change and contract once labor progresses and starts and all of that. So again, not very scientific in this, but I had heard that you could eat up to 6 dates a day, that's a good healthy amount. And I think you can have like 4 cups of the raspberry leaf tea. It might be more. I don't really enjoy the tea, and I think it's ridiculous to use like 4 tea bags every day, because then I'd have to buy so much of it. So I just have like 1 or 2 cups a day, and usually just stick to 1 or 2 bags. Like I'll use 1 bag twice or something, but it's kind of bland to me. So I've been doing it every day, but it's not my favorite thing. Dates, however, I do really enjoy. I really like the taste of dates just by themselves. I think they're fine. It's like easy for me to just pop in a few in the morning and a few at night. But I also tried making this really yummy recipe that you guys should definitely check out. It's super easy. It's funny calling it a recipe, but I think it's supposed to be like Snickers, but you take the date that's pitted, cut it in half and put peanut butter in the middle, and then dip it in chocolate. I did dark chocolate. You can also like add peanuts, add some kind of special salt and things like that. I just used the 3 ingredients, and it was so good. They're super yummy, and they last a while in the fridge, so you can just pop those in if you don't like dates. I also heard of people doing like date smoothies and all sorts of different things. So that one is pretty easy for me. I just bought the huge tub from Costco, and it lasts forever, I feel like. So yeah, I've been trying that. Number 4 would be nipple stimulation. So I don't remember like thinking about this at all during my first pregnancy when I was doing any kind of like old wives' tales, like eating spicy food or pineapple or whatever. But nipple stimulation has come up a ton when I've been Googling this time, and even when I talked with my lactation consultant, because I am still nursing my firstborn morning and night. Most days he eats at least like 1 or 2 times. So it's really interesting to me that this can induce labor, but it totally makes sense, because if you're breastfeeding after you give birth, then it helps your uterus contract back down to the size it's supposed to be. So it makes sense, I guess, biologically, that it could also help induce contractions. But I've heard that this one can also be maybe a little bit dangerous, like if you do it too early on or too aggressively, because some people like use a pump even to do it. But you can just manually like use your fingers or have your husband and whatever stimulate your nipples, and that can apparently help produce contractions and get labor going. Lastly, number 5, having sex is a way to naturally induce labor. I think everybody kind of knows that, but what I heard from my lactation consultant with nipple stimulation and sex is that basically the science of it is that your baby or your uterus has these like hormones on them that are, what word did she use? I don't remember, but they have little like sensors essentially, and then when it's getting close to time for labor, then there's like way more, it's like multiplied by a million or something. Like there's tons of these little sensors on your uterus, and so when you have sex or release this hormone through nipple stimulation and whatever, then that can go down to the baby and the uterus and trigger those sensors. But at the same time, it's not just going to trigger it randomly. It's really only like when the baby's ready, is how she explained it to me. So I don't think that means it's like safe anytime, but that's why obviously like you have sex throughout pregnancy and it's not dangerous. Like you're not gonna go into early preterm labor. But when the baby's ready, then that can just help stimulate things and get things moving because those hormones are released. So that's my science lesson. I don't know if that made sense, but it did help me kind of understand a little bit more. And also having sex can help soften your cervix. So that's all that I really have to share. I hope that you guys found this a little bit helpful if you are in the same boat as me and looking for advice on how to naturally induce labor. I did not have a bad experience with being medically induced, and I know a lot of people do get induced medically. I know people also say that it can like slow labor down or it can take a while, but I was on Pitocin and my entire labor experience was less than 12 hours. I think it was around 10 hours. So I think it's just different for everybody. Same with like trying to naturally induce. It's going to be different for everybody, what works and what doesn't, and when your baby wants to come out. So hopefully, you know, these things work for me and work for you, because I'm rooting for us, but you never know, baby is going to come on their own timeline. So try to enjoy these last moments of pregnancy and also have a positive mindset about labor. I've heard that if you have like anxiety and you're scared about it, then that can work against you in trying to speed things up. So definitely just try to be calm about it, be happy and excited, and just think all the ready, I'm ready thoughts. So that's gonna be it for today's video. Definitely make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Baby girl is coming so soon. Whether I can get her to come early or not, we're only a couple weeks away. So I will see you next time. Bye.